and like you mentioned earlier, for that delicate 21 of them. And also, their hideouts are sealed by the Lagos State government. But we went there for on-spot assessment. And, it will be very sad to know that the majority of these suspects are at the elderly one, 52, 57, 60. So you'll be wondering why they are into such activity. But we are also the task in Lagos State. We also assure Lagos president that will keep our best to make Lagos safer on earth.
All right. Another major success was the swift arrest of a suspect following a bomb threat to schools in Ikeja and Ogombo in January. This caused understandable panic in Lagos and around Nigeria, because when we got that information, a lot of people became apprehensive. Schools were moving here and there. People were not too comfortable. Can you detail how your digital forensic team worked on that case, and what assurances are you giving parents with regard to school safety as far as Lagos State is concerned?
Oh, thank you. Yes, for security reasons, won't be able to give you the details of how the technical lab came. But the Lagos State Command, we are determined, and we are determined to ensure that Lagos will be
Hello? Hello?
Yes. We tracked down the phone number used in sending those messages, because we discovered that it was the same number that sent to the two schools in Kenya that also sent to the other schools in Ogombo. And then, we carefully and strategically selected those schools where we know that such messages to such schools will create so much panic with the people. So, upon getting the information from the CSOs of those schools, we saw into action, we tracked down and we had information, and we were able to apprehend it. And then we tried our best possible to build a confidence of people in Lagos, and most especially parents who have children in primary and secondary school. So we tried to reassure them that no threat will be taken lightly, and we won't give room for any criminal element to get in touch or to get across to their children. And for the schools that were threatened, as we speak, we still have police deployment in those schools. And both the EOD, CBRN personnel are there, as well as some of our tactical teams. They will deploy permanently in those schools and to ensure that the children are safe. And then also for the young man, we've been able to, we even got across to the family, and the father gave us the information. The boy, the young man that was arrested, the suspect, is known to be a tyrant, even within the family. So that portrays, the investigation that, it's not a mistaken identity. And when we try to ask why he has done that, why did he decide to go such panic? And he said he was not having fun. Saying that how will you be having fun, putting people, creating chaos, and, causing tension within the community? It's totally wrong. And for Lagos State, we won't take such from anybody. So this is a way of reassuring Lagos residents, visitors, anybody within Lagos, for business or for fun, they can come around. So for Lagos State Police Command is determined, they are committed to making Lagos State, and we are on our toes. That's why we rolled out our emergency number for people to give us a call in case there is any emergency situation that will warrant police attention.
All right. So
Thank
now,
you.
understandably, when a victim is being accosted, they tend to give excuses, whether true or not. But for the purpose of this particular case that we're talking about, has the police carried out, or perhaps should I say, based on the investigation carried out by the police, is it true that it is just what he did while catching fun, or there are underlining pointers to something much more beyond what he just said?
For that, we don't want to go with the statement that it was just catching fun. As we said,
Hmm.
we actually investigated to try to understand the real rationale behind it. And also to ascertain how he was able to get the phone number of the school supervisors and practice and all the head teachers there. How he was able to have their contact details because he doesn't even have the card in any of those schools.
Hmm.
So the investigation is still ongoing to ascertain that. Of
Okay.
course, we can't just go with the ones they have said. So that's why we will intensify our investigation to ascertain the real the rationale behind it.
All right, thank you very much, SP Abimbola. Your Commissioner of Police, CP Olohundare Jimo, has credited this success to a combination of divine grace, police professionalism, and crucially, growing public cooperation. How tangible is this shift in public trust? I mean, are Lagosians truly reporting crimes more willingly?
Yes, the question is that it is true that that was why I appreciated them earlier. In fact, when it comes to information sharing, women sharing, the Ghanaians are fantastic on that. We get calls, text messages, WhatsApp messages, sometimes emails, giving us information about criminal activities in some areas. And we've been able to make lots of achievements with their decision. So when it comes to information sharing with the police, the Russians are fantastic. Of course, a tree doesn't make a forest.
Yeah.
Without their support, without their collaboration and cooperation, we can't achieve any of this. So they're very, very, very fantastic when it comes to information sharing. And all the information we've gotten from them has really, really been helpful. So I give it to the Russians.
All right, again, beyond crime fighting, we are seeing a noticeable shift in community engagement because we read about officers from your command, to be precise, Area H Command, visiting an orphanage with supplies, an initiative described as humanitarian policing. Furthermore, CP Jimo has publicly stated that no officer has the right to arbitrarily check citizens' phones on the road. How central is this philosophy of humanizing authority to the command's overall strategy for Lagos State Command?
Thank you. For the issue of checking of citizens' phones, the Commissioner of Police, Beyond found out such attitude on the part of the police officers and the command. In fact, on regular occasions, we call for briefings and want all officers to also warn their subordinates when they get back to their various offices. Except there is an investigation, an ongoing investigation, they have no right to stop people on the road and check. And doing that it means you are violating them and you are infringing on their rights as citizens. And also a way of limiting the position of the police and also the confidence that they try to build over the week is a way of building more distrust on their part. So we don't tolerate, but you will agree with me that typically some we will have when we have the order. So they always some initiatives where we have a lot, but we are trying our best possible to curtail such attitudes and to ensure that we build the confidence and trust of the people.
Yeah.
other area commands who have been engaging their stakeholders on regularly on monthly basis. So it all is just to build confidence. I think when we have the confidence of stakeholders, the FCD, and the youth, and all of them, I think to some extent you'll be able to solve 30% of what our security issues. Because of course they will have that confidence to come to the police and lay complaints. They will want their community to be well safeguarded by the police, believing that when something is reported, when any criminal activity is reported to them, justice will be done and the community will become safer. So when it comes to the community engagement, Lagos State Command, that your Lord and is doing a fantastic job in that. Also, on a regular basis, too, we go on company visits to some of the local government areas too, a way of reassuring them that we are ready to work together with them and to make Lagos better than it used to be. Then also, you will also agree with me today, it's quite different from Lagos that we had about 5-6 years ago, where you can't walk on the street of your Android phone in your hand. The Omolile boy will come around and, request to seize your phone. But now in Lagos, there is no room for such criminal activity. Traffic robbers will not them after they get the information, street urchins, we move around and risk crime. I think that will make the state of Lagos better and safe for people.
All right, thank you. Can you hear me? For giving us this information. Now, let's go to one critical issue, issue of public perception towards the police. Lagos, as the most populous state in Nigeria, have a lot of social media users. Again, and it's a platform where we get feedback from activities of the Nigerian. With these efforts, some citizens remain skeptical because comments on your social media page following that, people were questioning the authenticity of some recovered exhibits. How does the command now plan to bridge this trust gap and turn some of these skeptics into believers and also active partners of what you do in Lagos State Police Command?
Yes, please. The issue of the trust didn't just happen today. It's been all over here. And we are gradually changing the narrative. And that is why the Inspector General of Police has charged all command and no PRs to bring policing to the doorstep of people. Let them be aware of every activity that we do in the command. Take up every of their complaints with all sincerity and address it professionally. That is what we are doing in Lagos State. And that is why our complaint response unit have been, we work 24 hours a day. We work around the clock to ensure that when we have complaints from members of the public, they take some investigate and get to the root of it without delay. And I believe that as time goes by, we'll have the trust and confidence we actually need in people. Yes, we're going through the social media pages that when we come out to give them information and the true narrative of what really happened, we have some that will disagree with us, that will even come out to call us liars. I've had a situation where somebody came out and just asked me, you are a liar. I felt bad, but at the same time, I tried to excuse the post in the sense that I viewed it from the angle that even before I joined the police, we've had people having negative reports about it, saying negative comments about it. And then so, for being a public relations officer, it's a challenge for me that I need to step up and be more professional, be sincere, work with my conscience to carry people along. So that will now take me to saying that it's my time for to get the level at which we are going, and with the guidance of the investment, I'm sure with time people will actually see are not a security personnel, it's kind of also, scary to see that within just 1 month, police have been able to arrest it, recover it. But this is what it is, and we'll keep trying, and we won't relent, irrespective of negative comments or whatever. We'll not relent, we'll keep trying, and then we'll make sure that permanent duties are well carried out. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, SP Abimbola. In case you just tuned in, you're listening to Horizon on the Nigeria Police Radio 99.1 FM Abuja. Horizon is a program where we link up with police commands across the nation. And today we are joined by the Police Public Relations Officer of Lagos State Police Command, giving us update of the activities of police in Lagos State on a short break. When we return, the program continues. Meanwhile, as it is in our tradition, we call the phone number, that is the studio line, right now before we go on this break, so that by the time we return from this break, you will be able to call in and ask any question or make a comment to my guest, the Lagos State Police Public Relations Officer, SP Abimbola Adebisi. So the number is 080-699-75761. I'm going to take that again, 080-699-75761. Stay with us and do not go anywhere. The program continues after this break.
Every day, the Nigerian police force, they work hard to protect we life and property, but to get through safety, we must collaborate.
When we talk, we fit act fast. E good make we join hands together, report kurukere movements, share useful information, dey on alert, and make we no fear at all. Together, we fit stop crime and make our communities safe.
The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetoku, he don dey call for we people to join hands with the Nigerian police force to take fight criminalities. Crime dey grow where people no dey gree talk. Make it again.
Na CSP Benjamin, the Public Relations Officer. Together, we will secure Nigeria. If you see something, talk am.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. However, if you just joined in, you're welcome. The program is Horizon on the Nigeria Police Radio 99.1 FM Abuja, where we are joined on the program today by the Lagos State Police Command Public Relations Officer, SP Abimbola Adebisi. Before we went on that break, I called out the phone number where you can call and reach us in the studio. I will call the number once again, 080-699-75761. If you have any question or comment for my guest today, you can do well to call through to us in the studio. Meanwhile, you can also use that number to send me a WhatsApp message. I will take it up from here. At the same time, you can drop your comments or questions via the social media portal, that is on Facebook, Nigeria Police Radio 99.1 FM Abuja. Thank you. All right, thank you very much, SP Abimbola, for staying with us. Let's go to the recent incident in Lagos, which I said the significant event that tests police community relations. Last week, your command had to manage a major protests in Ikeja related to building demolitions in waterfront communities. In your statement, you noted that the protest blocked critical hours, preventing access to hospitals and corridors. 2 protest leaders were arrested. Can you explain the operational decision-making process in such situations? And at what point does a protest, a constitutional right, cross the line into a threat to public safety that requires dispersal?
Yes, a protest at the point, the protesters head down to allow that. Then we go to assembly. The police walks down with them peacefully and then controlling traffic and giving them security back home. We were there. I was also partner younger. We did the sessions together. We moved from that's about 6 to 7 kilometers walk, and it all started when they were going to allow that when the commissioner of police inspector direction joined us. By the time we got to the center of assembly, we met him on officers, the vicinity. So we met him on ground, and when they got it, we addressed them and asked as to why the process was at the primary for, I think just to engage them a little. And the protesters insisted that they must speak with some members of the House of Assembly. And immediately gave a call across to them, and about 5 of them came out to address the protesters. But even after they asked them, in fact, they offered dialogue. They were told, the protesters were told some of them that could speak on their behalf so that they can go into the complex and then have the discussion. But they refused that they all, in that large number, want to go into the House of Assembly. We can't allow such to happen. At that point, they were becoming aggressive. Because, who goes on the peaceful protest in conflict? In Nigeria, yes, protest is a conditional right.
Yes.
But we have to go with the conflict. Yeah. But even at that, we worked together with the music classes and what. But our lessons to allow it became obvious that children became aggressive. They changed their current transit for people. Even directly at the commissioner of police and officers that were there with them. And despite that, we were professional, trying to calm them down that you don't get any result by doing it. Do not block people, let's stand aside. But if it's agreed, at some point, the thing with the ROX, order to sit on the road and even coming to other breakfast for them, they should come around the Galapote and for everybody while sitting on the road. You protesting, the other right is fine. But it becomes a problem the moment you start infringing another person's right. There is that we have thousands of people flying that road to the airport. It's a link road to the airport, outside Lagos, hospitals, government offices, name it. They have thousands flying that route. It's a block road that people is doing over 2 hours. We have a report woman who stated why she won't break because she was stopped in traffic. And it's the afternoon that actually took slow. So it was hot in the afternoon. And she was stopped in the traffic. Cases like that, we also have the report of some people who miss their flight because that road was. And so it becomes a problem. And so we had no other options, and that was distracted. And how did we do that? We used minimum force. No leather weapon was fired. No live ammunition was fired. It was strictly together. And even at that point, I also was still in the midst of them. Because of everybody, violence, we can't touch on the right program like this. So many uncritical ways. But of course, I'm professional. That's not easy. It's just a word of mouth. And we also understand that they are angry people. And so it will also excuse some of their behavior. But when they became aggressive, started pushing up the police officers, they have no other option than to tear gas them. And in fact, if tear gas all together, it could be the police officers in the midst. So they scattered for and ran welfare and issues like so that was how we were able to pass them. And we still remained on ground for hours to ensure that they did come back together. And in the process, the arrowhead was arrested and one other all these guys said that the links the last singer. So they were all arrested and the next day they were taken to court. So now the case is now with the judiciary, so that with our home. Now I think Nigerians need to also know that nobody is saying they shouldn't protest. You can protest, you can, express yourself, but you have to make sure you do that in a rated manner, whereby your protest doesn't affect others that are actually protesting.
All right, thank you very much, PRO, for that update. Again, I just want to add a follow-up question concerning what you said, because you said there was a woman who fainted, and based on reports making round was that a woman fainted as a result of the tear gas canister that was fired at the protesters. That is one. But from your submission, you said she even fainted even before the police started firing tear gas canister. Then secondly, I also watched an interview of someone on a TV channel where he was saying that shooting guns and also tear gas, more like live ammunitions, were fired and someone sustained injury. Based on the way he put that out, was as if it was as a result of that live that was shot, someone sustained injury, because if it was made round, it was circulating where they held someone, two persons also held someone supporting him who sustained injury on his leg. And now you're telling us that live ammunition was not actually fired in that place. What is the real position? Can you try to balance it with what these people are alleging and what you just said? We need more clarity.
Thank you. In situations like this, of course, you know that there will be lots of stories and controversy. But the truth of the matter is, the police, at any point in time, had the life mission. The instruction was very, very clear. The police was on ground with they made sure, as a matter of fact, those of our officers that were bearing arms, they were not even posted close to the protesters to ensure that to avoid cases of having accidental discharge or giving excuses because they missed it. We don't really want to have any stories after the protest. So there was no life after the state. And then for the videos of a young man that was carried and another woman in the vehicle claiming she was shot. From my own experience as a police officer, if a life has entered that leg, I'm sure the leg won't be like that.
That would have beaten.
I saw online, you could see the shell of the canister on the floor. What I said that, the shell of ammunition. You can quickly say that, or you know,
Hello?
I would say that particular sound is not for people for 7, this one is not for this one. So, I'm saying again categorically, I'm not confident that no live ammunition was fired at all. We didn't use live ammunition at all. And then for the woman who fainted, it was even long before the it was long before that, like I mentioned earlier, we had some of our officers that were controlling traffic. Because at the point when they blocked a particular lane, so that people climb so that they can move freely. But even while doing that, people took us over 2 hours to be able to clear up that route. It was in that process that we got the information about the woman, and she was taken in the ambulance, and she was sustained and she was fine. But she was able to stay. And she had even left before the issue of the tear gas happened. So we just keep trying our best to ensure that we act according to the rules. And as police officers, we know the implication of firing live ammunition. Because it's not that our life was being threatened, it's not that another person's life was being threatened. So why the use of live ammunition? That was why we were quickly professional in ensuring that such didn't happen. But of course, one side to us, such is bound to happen, succeeding and what have you. But even in succeeding, it wasn't that much, unlike what we are hearing after the fire scenario. I didn't see him, I wasn't with him, but I'm just guessing. Maybe he fell while running or his leg or something, but not as a result of the feather. Not as a result of the feather. The cancer didn't hit him.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification. We have also seen reports from Makoko of families, including parents with 5-month-old twins, now living in canoes after their homes were demolished. And there are also serious allegations linking the demolition to fatalities. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I didn't get the official part.
Okay, I said we have seen reports also from Makoko of families, including parents with 5-month-old twins, now living in canoes after their homes were demolished. There are also serious allegations linking the demolition to fatalities, including infants and the elderly, due to shock and explosion. When police are being deployed to secure such demolition sites, what specific directives are they given regarding the treatment of visibly vulnerable and distressed citizens, especially children and the elderly?
Okay, thank you. Stop demolition, that particular demolition was directed by the Lagos State government. And our transport officers were only there to ensure that there is no breakdown of law. And to ensure that the people carrying out the demolition were not attacked. It's not like the Lagos State Police Command that is the demolition. So, as for that, the instruction is the directive is very clear. Ensure there is no breakdown of law and order using general force. It's only when you become stories for social media and what have you, when we want to start putting sentiment in some matters. They got the notice to exist the place. We have to wait to the last minute before existing such a place. And as the officers that have been detailed from such assignments, when the directive is very, very clear, ensure there is no breakdown of law and order using minimum force. Of course, we want to protect the officers that they were there to guide. So the issue of the 5-month-old twin living in Kano, I won't be able to comment on that because I don't know. I don't have much information on them. And then for infants and adults, yes, for such vulnerable people, you handle them with care. At the same time, one tries to balance off the handling with care and also carrying out order and direction. One needs to be very, very careful with that. And in that kind of situation, no matter how careful you are, there will always be a negative result. Nobody will appreciate the fact that you were careful and you were professional. It will always come from the sentimental part of those in that area. So I hope our office of people to ensure that without any form of attack or anything.
Again, still on the demolition issue, because this is what is on the front burner in Lagos. Everywhere you go, the conversation in the media space is also about Lagos demolition. So, and there is this allegation, or perhaps should I say insinuation, that it is not only a state matter that's talking about the demolition, that in places like Okota, residents are petitioning the governor for protecting against private land thugs to destroy community property and intimidate residents. How does your command now differentiate its response between enforcing government urban planning and also protecting citizens from criminal acts of land grabbing and property destruction by non-state actors?
Thank you. First, I need to take this clear that the legal act does not work with land grabbers. Issues of land grabbing are to be reported to the appropriate court, and also as directed by the Inspector General of Police that no account should police officers engage themselves or involve themselves in land grabbing matters. So, as a command, Lagos State Police Command, we do not work with land grabbers. And then for the demolition, we only work strictly with those that are instructed by government. And that so we have a task force unit, Lagos State Task Force, headed by CS, and we have some of our officers attached to them too. And those are the ones who move around with the official government when it comes to demolition. We don't work with land grabbers. We don't do that in the Lagos State Command.
All right, thank you for that. So now this event have actually created a deep rift, talking about this demolition and the protest and also the response. The police are seen by many as enforcing a policy that disregard the poor. Beyond issuing statements now, what concrete on the ground steps is the police command taking to engage with the leaders and youth of displaced communities like Maple Trust, and also ensure they still see the police as a source of protest, not oppression? Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. All right, I said now that these events have occurred, it has actually created a deep rift. The police, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, I said it has now created a deep rift because the police are seen by many as enforcing a policy that disregard the poor. So now, beyond issuing statements, what concretes on the ground steps is the Lagos Police Command taking to engage with leaders and youth of displaced communities like Makoko to build trust and ensure they still see the peace as a source rather than oppression?
As regards that, the Commissioner on Friday visited the confidence with the up area. So we had a issue there sometime last year around August where we had cases of loss of life. So to ensure that to build confidence with the people that the police in Lagos, we are not here to oppress, but that we are here for everybody, irrespective of the class or that. And I'm sure before the end of this week as well, we should visit that of the Akoko area as well to do that. And then also, although we are busy in the command at the moment, but I'm sure before the week runs out, we're going to do that as well. And I also want to also take this that the Lagos State Police Command is for everybody. We are for everybody. We are not selecting for who and where to take that. It's a guy everywhere and everybody, as long as you are a resident of the state. It's a visitor, as long as you are within the state. So we are for everybody. For the stakeholder engagement and community engagement. So we keep trying to do that. It's not one out of three. Before the week goes down, we should do another one. And like four like that. And then for what I also the Lagos State government is want to have discussions with residents of so for that I think I know by will have necessary information also.
All right, thank you very much for that. To wrap up, finally, SP Adebisi, having covered both your notable achievements and these profound challenges, what is your final personal appeal to the people of Lagos, and how can residents be effective partners in sustaining safety while legitimately holding the government and the police accountable?
Thank you. Security is a shared responsibility. It's for everybody. And like the real state, your community